Hi everybody, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Gary.
And we're Pathways Homestead. And because of our drastic height difference, and the product we want to show you, and the difficulty of finding a correct camera angle in our tiny kitchen, that's why Gary's having to bend down, because he's about a foot taller than me. Anyway, so...
It's okay.
It's okay.
You gotta hand it to short people.
Yeah.
Because they can't reach it.
So we're going to film everything we eat today. Gary come up with this idea as we were cooking breakfast. He was in charge of gravy and I was making biscuits. And he's like, hey, we should have been filming this. So we're going to do that today. He had a fabulous idea. We're going to give it a go. We're going to film everything we eat. Sorry that I didn't get the biscuits and gravy filmed for you.
So let's run down what's in them.
Okay, we'll run down what's in them. So we got for the biscuits, we've got 2 cups of flour, a tablespoon of baking powder, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon and a 1/4 of salt, and we have buttermilk
from our homestead.
And we have lard from our homestead. And they're just it comes out a really wet dough, and you put it out on a flour board. And really use a lot of flour, and then you fold it into quarters and press it back out, and you fold it into quarters 5 times to get your layers so that they're good and fluffy. On the gravy, we have homegrown Cargill Pathways Homestead pork. It's our pork made into sausage, and then we browned that in our cast iron skillet. I added another another 1/4 cup of lard so that there was enough grease. And then I added about 3/4 of a cup of flour and browned that. I browned the sausage first, then added the extra lard and flour. And then Gary browned the flour for me. And when it got good and brown, the flour good and brown, that's how you keep your flour gravy from tasting like flour, tasting tacky. We did forget salt and pepper. So it will need salt and pepper whenever we cook it. I usually do that after I add the milk. I added about a little over a quart of milk. It wasn't quite half a gallon of milk, but almost a half a gallon of milk. And then Gary stirred it in and we brought it up slow till it was thick enough. And now we're going to eat it.
All right, so we'll show you how to plate up biscuits and gravy.
Yeah. This is the fun part. This is the best part, is when you eat it.
So you take a biscuit. Will you hold that?
Yes.
Maybe that'll keep us in the camera. Let's see how, oh my goodness, those are fluffy. Look at that, layers.
This is a new recipe I tried today. And it's purposely for the layers.
Mm-hmm. We break them up, and they're still hot.
Yes.
And then we need a ladle or a spoon.
The ladle is in the dish or in the strainer.
That'll work. Yeah. So we're gonna just put a little gravy on
it. He's worried about the camera shutting off, but we got a while. We're doing good.
I was just making sure I was in the camera. There we go. There you go, Cindy. There's your breakfast.
Biscuits and gravy, y'all. Nice southern morning. We found out in Wyoming, it was kind of crazy, McDonald's didn't have biscuits and gravy. And there was some place restaurants didn't have biscuits and gravy. It was really kind of strange. We did find places that had biscuits and gravy, though. Our little local restaurant, when we lived there, the little cafe, had biscuits and gravy. So we ate there a lot. We cooked them at home a lot. And yeah, so our next project we're going to start is beans. We'll start them after breakfast, and I'm going to cook them in my electric pressure canner. So hide and watch, y'all, and follow along with us today. Happy New Year, and see what we eat for New Year's Day. Next, we are going to make ham and beans. A lot of people eat black-eyed peas. We don't have any black-eyed peas, so we're going to do with what we have, and we have brown beans. So that's what we're going to do. So hang on, hide and watch. My mama would cook her brown beans either in a pot or a crock pot. We're going to cook our brown beans in my electric pressure canner. Electric pressure canner, it also works as a cooker as well. Gary's coming in the door, so he's going to make some noise, but that's alright. So we've got some brown beans from the dollar store, from Dollar General. And then we have ham hock from Pathways Homestead. This had a nice ham slice in it, so we ate the ham slice. And then we've got the hocks. We knew we were going to be doing this, and we just ate the ham slice yesterday. So we knew we were going to be doing this today. So we got ready and held on to that, kept it in the refrigerator. So our first thing we're going to do is we're going to measure out. This is a 4-pound bag of beans. I'm going to put in about 1.5 pounds into my colander and rinse them in the sink. I'm going to clean off any dirt on them, get out any rocks that may be there. That occasionally happens, but you don't want to find a rock in your beans. So let's get after that. So I'm just going to cut the bag open. And I measure very precisely. Yeah, very precisely. That's about the amount of beans I want. I'll set my other ones aside. And I'm just going to rinse these beans, look through them, wash them around, swish them around, check for any rocks. A lot of people will pull out like deformed beans. Those don't bother me so bad. But yeah, those don't bug me so much as I'm looking for rocks and dirt. Some places you get really good luck with and don't end up with rocks in them. And sometimes you do end up with rocks in them. And it's crazy because I had a brand of beans I was buying for years and never found a rock in them. Never, never, never. But I always sorted them anyway, just looking, just to make sure. And lo and behold, one day I found several rocks. It just goes in the sorting process. And you know, since these are grazed in the ground, and the plants, when the plants get picked up and harvested, sometimes a rock gets picked up in that process. So we just kind of sort through and make sure. I do a lot of looking, a lot of rinsing. If you're going to cook these in a crock pot, you're going to want to pre-soak them, put them in water and stick them in the crock pot or whatever and let them soak before you add your bean or your ham hock. You want to pre-soak them before you added your ham hock. But we're going to cook them in the pressure cooker, and we're going to cook them for several hours in the pressure cooker, so we don't have to pre-soak them. We do pre-rinse them, do check for rocks, and I'll come back and show you the next step. So the next step is to add water. I am going to add 10 cups. I got a measure on the side of here. I'm going to add 10 cups in here. Maybe 12. I think I'll do 12 cups. And I'm just putting in cold water because that's what's, you know, everything going in here is cold. I'm going to put it all in cold. So I'm going to do about 12 cups. There is a measure on here of full and how you don't want to go over. But I'm going to go to 12, which is about half of this. Because we want some soupy beans. Okay. And that's probably way too much water for those beans. So I've got a choice here. I can add more beans because we can eat beans all week. Because now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look like a whole lot of beans. I think I am going to add some more beans. So we're going to end up with about 2 pounds of beans. Alright, we've got our beans in there. We're going to add our ham hock. And these are just ends of the ham that are too small for a ham. It's got bone in it, and it's been cured and smoked. Good stuff here. And I'm going to put this in my pressure canner. So we've got our beans, putting them in the pressure canner. I'm going to close and lock my lid. I'm going to hit pressure cook. And then I am going to cook this for 2 hours. Well, looks like I'm going to go for 3 hours. So we're going to let that pressure cook for 3 hours. If you have not seen this, this is my Carry electric pressure canner. I absolutely love this thing. Carry Smart Canner. I love this. This is my second one. We bought one at Orscheln's, which it was something else whenever we bought it. But anyway, we bought one at Orscheln's 5 years ago for my wedding anniversary present before we moved into this trailer house. I absolutely loved it. I cook with it. I can with it. I wore it out. And so this year I got another one, a new one, and I have been loving it. It's the same as my old one, exactly the same. There's also the Neko brand. They have bought the patent and they make one, and it is the exact same canner. It just has instead of Carry right there, it says Neko or whatever that. I don't pronounce it correctly, and I can't remember which way it's supposed to be pronounced. But they are the exact same device. I absolutely love this. If you are a small batch canner, if you're a new canner to pressure canning, this is the way to go. If you are a working woman and you don't have a whole lot of time, this is the way to go. You don't have to babysit this, and I absolutely love it. Love it, love it, love it. Those of y'all that have been watching my channel for a while, this is not the first plug for Carry. And you guys all know that I am lost without my Carry canner. I do enjoy my big Prestos, and whenever time allows and whenever I have large batches, I do still use my Presto canners. But this is my favorite canner. Here's Gary back. He's been out doing chores. I'll just have to show y'all what we have got as our first New Year's Eve, or our first New Year's present. Our first New Year's Day is pretty brutal, y'all. Gonna have to get out there and show you.
Is there still ice in my beard?
Gary's got ice in his beard, y'all. The abominable snowman exists. There's the Yeti right there, dude. So let's get to a good window, because I ain't going outside. It's cold.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's not that cold.
We have a winter wonderland out there. The wind is horrible and blowing ice and snow.
And there's about a 1/4 inch ice on every.
Yeah, there's ice under the snow. It is brutally cold.
I bet it's on 0.
No, it's not 0. It's not even supposed to get to 0. It's going to get to like 4 tonight. Yeah, it's not 0. It's in the 20s. Going to be dropping down into the teens through the day, and tonight in the morning we're supposed to wake up to 4 degrees. Especially Gary and I wake up early, so it's going to be about 4 degrees in the morning. Super cold. So
I'm not even going deer hunting.
no, Gary didn't get to go deer hunting either. We have a doe only season. Gary didn't get a fall deer hunt, and so he was counting on this doe only season to fill his 2 tags, and he's still got a few days left. Okay, it's lunchtime here at Pathways Homestead. Temperature is continuing to drop. New Year's Day 2022. So we started out filming this morning and we were in the 20s. We are down to 13 degrees outside and blowing snow. So at least the ice is gone. Well, not off of this, but no more ice is coming down. It's just snow. I say just, but ice, but snow on top of ice is not a good mix either. But that's where we're at. New Year's Day 2022, getting our first winter storm of the season, and it is bitter cold out there, and the wind's blowing. Snow's coming down sideways. we'll see if we can get some footage of that. But it is almost noon. It is about 12 minutes till noon. So I'm going to make taco soup for lunch. We're going to use quite a bit of leftovers for the taco soup. I have some canned taco meat, deer taco meat that I canned, seasoned already. And we'll pull out some leftovers and we'll get started on this. So I've got the deer meat that's already seasoned with some taco seasoning. I have part of an onion and part of a bell pepper I'm going to cut up. I have some tomato juice or sauce. I have some corn on the cob that we're going to take off the cob. And I have some leftover black beans. That's all going to go in to make our soup. So, hide and watch. Alright, we have the onions and peppers have sweated a bit. I put butter in there and put the corn in there so they'd have extra moisture. And I put the lid on to kind of sweat them instead of just frying them. Or sauteing them, as French would say. So now we're going to throw in the tomato juice. And we're going to put in the canned deer meat that's already been cooked and already seasoned. Beans. I'm just using leftover beans. We had black beans earlier this week. Got a little bit of water here that we'll use to kind of get some more stuff out with, just for flavor. Need a little bit more water. That's better. So about 3 cups of water is what I added.
This carving knife has lots of different flavors. This knife in there, that green box knife, yeah, that's really good for the nice carving shaped foods. It's easy to sharpen.
Now we're gonna let that cook, and we'll be back. Alright, we brought that to a boil and boiled it, and everything's cooked through and good and hot. We're going to turn it off and bowl it up, serve it up. Put it in my good little crock bowl. I'm going to add a little avocado as an option for garnish, and a little bit of my cream cheese in the making. I've got some cream cheese making in the fridge. Sometime I'll have to show you how I'm learning to make cream cheese. But I am working on making some cream cheese, and it is a nice consistency for cream cheese right now. I really like that. So it's probably too far past the stage to use as sour cream. So I'm going to put that back. And there we have it. Taco soup. for New Year's Day 2022. I'm trying to make us go backwards, guys. All right, so we have our potatoes started. I'm gonna cut up an onion and get it in. I've got my cornbread started over here, letting my oven heat up. And our beans are done. Let's have a look at those beans. Beans are done, they need stirred. They're ready to go. All right, something I really like to do with my potatoes is I like to cut up an onion and fry with my potatoes as well. Yes. Go. We got our onion in there. We'll let that cook for a while. Probably ready to put our cornbread in the oven and get it going. All right, there we go. We've got our potatoes going. Gary just stirred them. And then we've got our cornbread going, and our beans are done. I am warming them back up because they've been done for a while. So we'll come back and show you what we got. All right, guys, hope you guys can see. Cornbread's done, potatoes are done, and we're going to show you the beans are done. We're going to plate this up and give it a good eat. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we pray you have a blessed day. Remember, God made you special, and He loves you very much.